Should the Mets go out and get another reliever? Well, the MLB waiver deadline just passed by, and there are now a few relievers that are on the market that I think the Mets should be interested in signing. Should they pick them up? We'll discuss it right now. What is going on, everybody? You are locked in to this new edition of Mets Digest with your host, of course, Michael DeAngelo. As you see on the screen, hope everyone is still locked in on the season. We just saw the Mets take 2 out of the 3 games against the red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks, thanks to a nice bounce-back game by Edwin Diaz. After blowing the save in the second game of the series, he came back to save the game once again in the matinee game to take 2 out of the 3 games against the top NL wildcard spot, Arizona Diamondbacks. So the season far from over, still some baseball left to be played. Gotta pick up as many wins as you can get. Every loss that the Mets pick up is crucial and burying them deeper into the hole. But what better team now to face than the Chicago White Sox, who have the worst record in the entire MLB. And if they were to get swept by the Mets, they will break the record for the largest losing season since the 1962 New York Mets. So a little bit of irony there, and hopefully the Mets can do that for the 1962 Mets and the current Mets, because they need it. Both of them need it as much as possible. And I will before I get started, I gotta say, we are still growing now. We are a little over 3,500 subscribers, I think. So make sure you guys subscribe right here for all things Mets roster news, roster moves, trade updates, trade rumors, free agency updates, injuries, all of that. This is your one-stop shop right here for all things Mets baseball. So make sure you guys subscribe. Me and Flobo Boys have been covering almost everything possible when it comes to the New York Mets and anything related to them. And this is definitely one thing that pertains to them crucially right now because they need it. And we will get started, as it is a report that came out from The Athletic during the MLB waiver deadline, which was a couple days ago, and that is the San Francisco Giants placed left-handed relievers Tyler Matzek and Taylor Rogers and infielder Thairo Estrada on waivers, and the move makes them available for any team willing to claim them and cover their remaining 2024 salaries. Now, you guys have heard me complain in the past. The Mets need a left-handed reliever. I don't care how good Danny Young is. He is having a pretty good season right now. But when it comes to playoff baseball, experience is a big matter. And those two guys those two left-handed relievers that were just waived are definitely experienced. Let's take a look at first Taylor Rogers, who is a left-handed reliever. If he is picked up by the Mets, he will be under contract for the season afterwards, which is something that's crucial for the Mets because they are going to need bullpen pieces for next season, specifically at $12 million for next season, which shouldn't be too big of a problem for Mr. Cohen and his front office. But if you look right here, 2.45 ERA, that's absolutely fantastic. 33 years old. He's an experienced reliever. He's been on multiple playoff teams, specifically with the Milwaukee Brewers, and everyone remembers his stellar season with the San Diego Padres when they made the playoffs in 2022. And so this is the Mets. This should be their number one candidate to pick up right now. And I think it should be all systems go for the Mets to pick him up because we need a left-handed reliever really badly. We just saw Denanel Nunez go back on the IL, so that's another roster spot that has just opened up for another reliever. Remember, Danny Young is our only left-handed reliever in the bullpen right now. Every other left-handed pitcher is a starter at the moment. So when it comes to lefties, we are very scarce right now, and it would be very nice to have a former All-Star, playoff experienced left-handed reliever to go alongside of him to be the two lefties in the bullpen. We have one young and one nice all-star veteran. I think I think it's a perfect match. And yeah, so Taylor Rogers, a lot of people know about him and what he brings to the table, and I think the Mets should sign him immediately because mainly because of that $12 million contract that he has for next season, I think that's huge, and it already gets the Mets off on the right foot for next offseason. For the next guy that we will talk about, of course, we saw in that report was Tyler Matzek from the San Francisco Giants as well. We see his ERA is very high at a 9.90. So, I mean, he has not been having a great season. Neither has the entire Giants bullpen. But you're wondering why, why did the Giants cut Taylor Rogers? It was probably a payroll type of thing with them looking to save some money. But when it comes to Tyler Matzek, he was just absolutely struggling. But he is also another experienced reliever, same age as Rogers, and he was on a bunch of playoff teams as well, especially with the Atlanta Braves. And I think if you're looking for a cheaper route, I think Tyler Matzek is a great option as well. And hopefully the Mets could maybe make a move for him as well. I would be more than willing to give him a shot. But if that ERA is too high for you guys, there is one more man to talk about that I didn't show the report of. But the Cubs did place Mr. Drew Smyly on the IL. He is another left-handed reliever, a little bit older in age. He's at 35 years of age now, but he's at a 2.91 ERA. Everyone remembers Drew Smyly as a great starter, but as he started getting up there in age, he has made a pretty nice bullpen piece for a lot of other teams, including the San Diego Padres and now the Chicago Cubs. So, like I said, 2.91 ERA, has only allowed 45 hits this year. This could be another solid piece that you could pick up for the bullpen. Look, the Mets are in the bottom 10 right now in bullpen ERA. They're just above a 4.06, I think. So, I mean, struggling to say the least. We just saw Edwin Diaz blow a game against the Arizona Diamondbacks once again in the second game of the series. And, and was much better during the matinee game to get out of there with the series win. But it can't all be him. There was reports that they are going to increase his workload as a reliever, which we are already seeing that right now. But in all realness, you still need more bodies, and it can't just all be Edwin Diaz. And you need to be able to mix it up in that bullpen, and I think having two lefties is a great option to have. Danny Young has been great as well. When I first was writing up this episode, I was like, what? Why is he really that? But I look at his stats, 3 ERA. He's been very good. He's survived a lot of roster cuts and stuff. Alex Young got cut before he did. And, we saw a bunch of other guys, during the waiver deadline get cut. But Danny Young is staying here, and he has been very good. Only 2 home runs allowed. Like I said before, 3 ERA, 30 years old. The ERA plus at 132 as well, and a 1,200 whip. He's been very solid for us. But my preference, I like having 2 lefties in the bullpen, especially one that's under contract for next season. That's a former All-Star. So if they're really serious about making this push, which we're not entirely sure yet, it's still around 3 games out of the last wild card spot. The Atlanta Braves are currently ahead of us, which we do play them in the second to last series of our regular season. So it would be nice to have some extra bullpen help, to say the least, for the New York Mets. But that is all I have for you guys here today. Should the Mets go out and get another left-handed reliever, specifically Taylor Rogers, who would be under contract for next year, let me know down in the comments. But I think it should be a full, an easy move. But we'll see what Mr. Stearns and Mr. Cohen have and any ideas regarding that sooner or later. But that is all I have for you guys here today. Make sure you guys subscribe down below for anything else Mets related. We will be on top of everything. Me and Flowo Boys will be at it for the rest of the regular season and off season. But that is all for now. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.